What's going on, everyone? This is the Sports Speculator here. Here to talk a little boxing for you. Like a old rock sock and robot. Um, Ever since the explosion of kind of the heavyweight fights, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, really maybe even ever since like ESPN Plus and DAZN have really like come out on the stream. I feel like there's been a real surge in solid boxing. You got Kovalev, Canelo, Triple G, Lomachenko, Andre Ward, Keith Thurman. Then you have the heavyweight title picture with all three of those guys: Fury, Wilder, and Joshua, and then you throw Ruiz in there, and then even like Povetkin is very good as well. Is very exciting. Eventually, he's gonna fight somebody in those top fours. Pacquiao is fantastic. Bud Crawford is amazing. And so now this weekend we have Errol Spence and Shawn Porter. And to be perfectly honest with you, I've heard of Errol Spence. I'm looking up his wins. I'm sure I've watched an Errol Spence fight. I think maybe Kell Brook. I saw Errol Spence against Kell Brook, or maybe Lamont Peterson. Might have been like the earliest that I kind of knew who he was. Shawn Porter, I'm not too familiar with him either. Um, just looking at his latest fights though, Danny Garcia, Andre Berto, lost to Keith Thurman. I mean, that's about as elite fighter as you're gonna get. And Thurman, lost to Pacquiao. So I mean, that goes to show you how dominant Pacquiao is. I mean, beating Adrian Broner, that probably had a lot of weight at the time, but maybe not so much anymore. Same thing with Paulie Malignaggi. I mean, very talented fighter, but Devin Alexander, that's a good win. Then lost to Kell Brook, who Errol Spence beat. So it's very interesting. I'm looking at the odds here. Um, Errol Spence Jr. is a minus 850. That's insane. So Vegas is so confident in Errol Spence. I mean, he's unbeaten. He's beaten people that have beaten Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter's a plus 525. So, I mean, good money's on him. Honestly, minus 850. That's you got to be super confident in that pick. And I guess everybody is. I think he's from New York, and the fight is. Where's the fight? Maybe it's in L.A. actually. I heard he's from New York, but I think the fight is in Los Angeles. Where's the fight? Staples Center. All right, cool. Welterweight titles on the line. Should be a very good fight. I believe it is on pay-per-view, so I don't think it's on ESPN Plus. But if it's like the UFC, do you have to have ESPN Plus to order it? How does that work? Will it be on DAZN? Where to watch Errol Spence Jr. and Shawn Porter. See, I don't even need to look at the keyboard. Skills. Where to watch it? What is it being aired on? Okay, PBC Boxing on pay-per-view. Premier Boxing Championship. That I feel like that's a Fox Sports thing. I feel like yeah, here it is. Okay, Fox Sports. So, is it on FS1? Uh, yeah, is it on FS1? If it is, that's badass. But I think it might be a pay per view. I mean, he's definitely good enough to be pay per view. I mean, look, Errol Spence Jr. I mean, they're both in phenomenal shape, but dude has like a 20 pack. It's ridiculous. 25-0. 84% of his fights end in KO. Jeez. And he's beaten guys who have beaten Shawn Porter. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a lock, but from what the betting odds are saying, they're pretty much guaranteeing that it's a lock. Me, casually, Errol Spence Jr. has more cachet and more, like, name recognition. His brand is at least recognizable to me, so that's who I would expect to win the fight. And definitely just looking over their records, I mean, knocked out Kell Brook, whereas Porter lost to Kell Brook. Um, who else have they? Danny Garcia, I believe they both fought. No, Mikey Garcia. Have they fought? Who else have they fought? Because that's kind of hard, but and sometimes stylistically things just don't add up if they have different styles. Sometimes guys can give one another trouble. Have they both fought Keith Thurman? That would be cool. I doubt it though. No, Errol Spence has not fought Thurman. He should fight Keith Thurman. Say if Errol Spence beats Porter, although I think Thurman wants the rematch with Pacquiao. It'll be interesting to see. But it's this weekend. I'm just gonna take Errol Spence because all the betting sites are heavily favoring him. But in boxing, those heavy favorites, sometimes things don't work out. So I'm very excited about that. Should be a very good fight. I'm looking forward to it. If it's on pay per view, I don't know. I might just hang out on Twitter and see videos of people or just photos and stuff and just kind of watch it that way. I feel like if I don't have ESPN Plus, or if it's not on ESPN Plus and it's not on DAZN or any of those things, and if it's I have to buy it, I'm not gonna buy it. So I feel like a lot of boxing cards are very top heavy. I don't know a whole lot of people on the underside. MMA, they still have some cards like that, but most of the time for a big MMA fight, there's at least 3 or 4 fights, on the main card where I know both people and their history. It just speaks to me as how I fell out of boxing around 2008, and have only been being pulled back in for the Pacquiao Marquez fights or big time Mayweather fights or not the Klitschko fights. But even then, during Klitschko's era, I wasn't that interested. Very kind of boring type of fighter. Not boring per se, but just not very exciting to the American audience. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see. I'll go Spence, staying undefeated, grabbing those titles. If you have Porter, let me know. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time.